Hi everyone. Hi. Today's topic is Tuesday crystals. I was just listening to a lot of political rants and stuff, and I don't want to get too much into it, but we are screwed, guys. Within 2 weeks, a criminal president has actually given us far more uh, against what is actually going on, right? So he's a king trying to rule over something that is not actually factual, right? So we are going to tank real quickly. I'm not sure how much we're going else to burn, but this is a great time to talk about cleansing, crystallizing, right? We are in a world where there are cowards who don't even know what they're doing, and they're going to just say, oh, because I have the money, I'm just going to tell you what to do, and I don't even know how to do it myself. So, with that being said, let's jump into Tuesday, right? So, with everything that's going on within 2 weeks, we've already basically had laws broken. We've had so much things going wrong. We've had basically an election, a coup that is trying to become a king within a democracy, and that's not how democracy works. So while you're breaking the law, right, just remember that you know those people who voted a criminal into office is trying to be king in a world that, well, actually in a nation that does not serve actual technically a king. Not even King Charles has the right to go against his own parliament, right? Um, Mouse. Okay. So even if he can't go against his own parliament, he's just a figurehead. So yes, he has a lot of leeway, he has a lot of influence. Does not actually mean that he's super in charge by himself. So give me a kitty, come on. Yeah, so I'm trying to make sure that she doesn't step on it. So we're going to actually, she wanted to do Monday, but it's actually Tuesday, so it's Twisday. Planet Mars, colors red and autumn shade, metal iron. So crystals are ruby, garnet, bloodstone, flint, rhodonite, and hemlite. So garnet, we all know garnet is January, right? So we kind of did talk about January crystals, right? So let's talk about ruby, right? Tuesday. So it's actually Tuesday, but we call it Tuesday because that is just man-made shit, right? So ruby stone. A ruby stone helps in all matters of love, stimulates, motivates, and visualizes. A wealth stone. It provides courage, confidence, validity, stimula, stigma, strength, and leadership. Ruby intensifies all emotion. It is an amplifier for both positive and negative energies, increasing sexual energy. Has a powerful stimulating energy that can bring things to light, brings life force and validity into one's being, passion and enthusiasm, courage and fortitude, regulates the metabolism. Ruby can be used to promote energy throughout the entire energetic system. It also helps and reduce negative thoughts. Meow meow, can't be meow. Okay. See, I told you, just don't sit on it. And then you go and sit on it. Just so you can. Here, you want some piece of meat? Here, look. There. Just so you can. Oh my goodness. Okay. So it's an amplifier of both positive and negative energy, increases sexual energy, right? So basically what it's just basically saying is that rubies remove blocks of energy in reproductive system. So, I should always do this early because I get tired at like a certain amount of time. But that's me detoxing, right? So it's so basically it helps with sexual tension, it helps with metabolism, it helps with passion and enthusiasm, right? It's also July birthstone. We will get into that when July comes, right? So it's just basically detoxifying the body, blood, and lymph, and it also it's helpful with treating fever and infections. So let's not get too much into the ruby because that will be for July. We can't get into the garnet because we already did January, but we all know what January is. So let's get into the bloodstone. A bloodstone is description is keywords is courage, health, intuition, mental clarity, validity, abundance, alignment, organizations, generosity, idealism, good fortune, purification, right? So bloodstone encourages being present in the here and now. So if you actually read my piece, right, my pieces, I talk about time, right? I talk about basically how time is used, right? We use time for us and also against us, right? So we hate that we age, so that's going against time. We love youth, which is going for time, but we don't know actually what time really truly means, right? We don't understand that time is just a philosophy, right? We have 24/7, right, which is a full day, and each increment that we use is a formulation of time, right? So we have to figure out how we're going to use our friend, which waits for no one. So it's selfish, but it's also very giving, right? So bloodstone, so it resonates love, relationships, and friendships. It also helps with letting go of the selfish behaviors and renews an idealistic outlook on life. Therefore, it enhances your natural abilities, talent, and creativity, right? So with selfish behavior, sometimes just you trying to help yourself is helpful. It's not selfish. So one can actually say that all selfishness can be removed, because we also have to make sure that when we talk about being selfish, it's not all the time, right? You don't always think about yourself 24/7. So when you are helping yourself, you're also helping other people. But if you're only helping yourself all the time, then that's not good. That is selfish, and we should use the stone to get rid of that. So natural abilities is different, because natural abilities is if you're born with a great singing voice, you can harmonize it, you can vocalize it, you can actually use it to your advantage, right? So you're going to basically go to more singing lessons, know how to read music, right? So if you have a writing ability, because your brain is just about being a writer, right? You're going to go to school, which I am going to school for, creative writing, which is a writing technique, right? To hone my skills, right? To go deep dive into different techniques and figure out what's the best format for that. I'm not so good at it, but I am trying my very best with it. So we have also creativity. Now, creativity is different for everybody, right? You can creatively come up with a story, right? You can creatively sing to match anybody that you're trying to if you get like a Christina Aguilera, you can mimic her, right? That is creative, because you're having a fresh take on an old song, right? So it heightens intuition and increases creativity. It's grounding and protecting. Bloodstone draws off negative environmental energies and neutralizes influence such as geopathic or electromagnetic stress. It simulates dreams and is a potent refuser, right? Provides courage and also enlightens you on how to avoid dangerous situations. So that depends on what it is, right? So if you have, if you're needing protection from something, right, a negative, so you're having a negative environmental energy, right, and it neutralizes the influence of that stress, right? The problem is, if you have a negative environment, yes, we can't all just get up and like, oh, I'm not going to be here anymore and just decide, okay, tomorrow I'm going to be moving, right? You have to figure out, you have to plan, you have to, draw up, if you're going to be able to sustain a job, if you're not a millionaire, right? You have to make sure that you find the best doctors for yourself, right? So it does take time and planning for a move such as that, right? You have to go there, you have to visit the doctors, you have to start calculating how you're going to even put all your stuff in storage, or if you already have a house, how you're going to move like from one place to another, right? So you also have stimulates dreams. So a dream is actually your subconscious taking your day, you're processing it, and you're then storing it as all the way back into your long term. So it's your short term going to your long term. You're trying to see your minute by minute play. But also, it could be that if you believe in your crystals and stuff like that, that somebody is putting what they want you to see, or what you're capable of doing, or what you feel like you're good at, right, into a way where you can actually, if you dreamed of being a singer and, you have a dream of being on stage and suddenly now you're on The Voice, right? I've had dreams too, but my dreams are slightly different, slightly quacky, just like me. So I'm not entirely sure if my dreams are going to resonate well into my future, because I don't know if my future is going to be what the dream entails. So it provides courage and it also enlightens you on how to avoid dangerous situations. Okay, so there are many different types of dangerous situations. A dangerous situation isn't just, a kidnapper coming and trying to take a child, or it couldn't be somebody who's trying to, traffic kids or something. There's also domestic violence, right? There's also a danger of not knowing what you're capable of, and also not knowing what the people around you, right? So you go to people you trust, and if the trust actually comes down and is not trust, then technically what is that, right? If you can't go to the people that you feel most comfortable with because you have a strange feeling, then that is a dangerous situation. There's also a dangerous situation if you drink too much and you decide to do something stupid. Then the consequence of that would be, okay, well, I need to figure out how to fix it, and sometimes it's too late to fix it, right? So we have ample reasons to avoid dangerous situations. We also need to make sure that we are aware that there is a danger to the situation. We're not always P. Diddy and R. Kelly and stuff like that, because while they had influence and money, right, they were able to scope out, target, and be able to maintain a rhetoric that allowed them to get away with stuff like that for so long, right? And so people trusted them because they were in a position of power, right? That is very dangerous, right? Hey, my mouse. Also, if it's your mom, right, and your mother is to protect you. But if she's not protecting you, that is a dangerous situation of itself, right? Your dad, right, is also supposedly a protector of the family, right? To coincide with the mom, right? That doesn't always mean the case, right? That doesn't always signify that they will protect you. There's many different aspects of family members going against family members, and you actually end up on the ground. So so we really have no idea, right? We really have no idea what more dangerous situations is. And you have Stockholm syndrome, right? Where somebody's been in the house all the time and then they can't go anywhere else, and it turns out, well, they fell in love with someone. Sounds like Beauty and the Beast, right? But it actually has come from somewhere where back in the old days, not so much now, but there is a lot more now where we are more aware of it. Doesn't mean we can always catch it, but we are truly more aware of it. Where, a guy or a girl gets locked up, right? Because it does happen to guys too. It doesn't always just happen to women. It just so happens that we are in a society where we need women to be damsels and the guy to be the heroic, handsome, dashing hero, which we are not, right? We are not damsels, right? But we're also not eagerly being princes or prince-like stuff, because there is no such thing as a princely behavior, right? Just look at Prince Harry, right? Prince Harry's a prince. Well, not so much now, but he was born royal. So does that make him any less or more royal? I don't know. But he put himself into a dangerous situation, and now he has to kind of pay the price. So let's move on. Promotes both optimism and luck. So optimism is your hope, right? So little lady hope in the bottom of Pandora's box, right? She's trying to come out and you need to let her out. So luck is different, because luck is not always lucky, right? It's not always what we deem it to be. It encourages selflessness and idealism, right? Bloodstones calm and rejuvenate the mind, repels confusion, and improves decision making. We need that a lot, because there's a lot of decisions right now that are being made that are solely bad for the country. Not just that, we also have people that are Karens and Kens, dangerous parents, people who believe that they can get behind a wheel, right? Being, intoxicated, stuff like that. So we have to also encourage them not to do that. Although when you're drunk, you think you can, get away with the consequences. So dispels confusion. You can be confused at certain times, but but if it's a continuous where everything that you say is confusing, then you might have to wonder, if you take drugs, how much drugs have you taken, and this has long-term effects. If it's confusion because you're getting misinformation, right? Like for me, I'm getting misinformation about my car insurance, right? Where they say I paid 1 month and then 5 minutes later they're saying that I did not pay it, right? So that is confusion, right? It improves decision making. So my decision is, okay, so how am I going to fix that situation, right? So the situation is, if I get money, which I'm trying hard to do, right? How am I going to dispel that, right? Assists in adjusting to unaccustomed circumstances. Furthermore, it reduces irritability, aggressiveness, and impatience. Well, that sure sounds dandy. Irritability, right? When you're being irritable, it means that you're not getting your way and you're frustrated that it has not gone your way. Does not always mean that the circumstances are going to be allowing you to be getting away with something like that. But there's also injustices where people who should not get away with things do get away with things, right? And people that make one little tiny mistake, the law crack down on it too hard. Or it could be that you're irritable because, your kids are too loud and you're just like, I want peace. But guess what? You decided that you wanted to keep the kids. So that's up to you, right? Irritability is also if you are in a workplace and your coworkers saying one thing and you don't agree with them. Yes, that can make you irritable, right? It also can make you irritable that your boss doesn't see your significance, your value, your worth, until you decide, okay, I'm done, right? Aggressiveness doesn't always come with fist fighting, right? Aggressiveness can come with actually good thoughts, right? You're aggressively chasing after a job. You're aggressively trying to keep maintaining your money and your power, right? You're aggressively trying to prove your worth, even though your worth should not ever have to be put into consideration to begin with, right? And impatience. We as Americans are very impatient. We have been bred not to have patience. We are bred to have instantaneous access to a push of buttons because we are very impatient people, right? Not all of us, but there's a lot where, why didn't it come your way right now? Because the fact is, you have to wait. Oh, I don't wait. I don't even know the word, the idea, the thought of wait, right? Bloodstone reminds us that change brings benefits. It also helps modify your patterns of behavior and rebuilds a healthier ways. Okay, that makes sense. Are we going to accept that? Probably not. Why? Because we're human beings. We like to saying we like change, but then we go off and we do the same shit over and over and over and over again, and we wonder, well, why isn't the situation or the outcome different? Well, that's called insanity, right? Healing. Bloodstone is an excellent blood cleanser and a powerful healing stone with many magical properties. It is an energy cleanser as well as one of the best immune boosts. It helps overcome exhaustion and also re-energizes and rejuvenates. I should get this because most of the time right now I feel like I'm unenergized and unmotivated. However, though, I still have optimism because I know that whatever I'm saying will be somewhat taken in by those who listen, right? And re-energizing boosters, we need more energy because we are keep putting ourselves into situations that need the outlet of doing something better than what we're doing now, right? Rejuvenation does not always mean getting a new face. It does not mean that we need cleansers, right? Rejuvenation is good sleep. We have to have good patterns. We have to have good health healing patterns, right? An ideal treatment for insomnia, bloodstone purifies and fortifies the blood. Therefore, it detoxifies the liver, kidney, spleen, bladder, and intestines. Bloodstone regulates and supports blood flow and assists in circulation. So if you have a hard time with circulating, right? So it means blood clots. If you're having a problem with blood clots, right? That means that your blood isn't circulating, so it isn't going to form around the cut to stop it from bleeding by itself, right? You also have, if you have high blood pressure, that means that your kidneys are not working. If you're having to pee a lot, that means your bladder is not working. If you cannot digest, that means your intestines do not work, right? So this might help with that. It neutralizes toxins, reduces pus formation, and stimulates the lymphatic system. So it's LYMPHATC system, healing inflammations and infections. Blood flow is also helpful in healing blood-related cancers such as leukemia and assists in the treatment of HIV and AIDS. I would like to see that. So leukemia is a blood disease, right? It's a blood clotting disease where it's like it kind of clots in different places, right? So it is a form of cancer because it formulates later in life, right? You can be born with leukemia, so you can be born with cancer just like you can be born with AIDS and HIV. However, leukemia is different than HIV and AIDS. While they both can be born with, right? So whatever your mother has, that's what you're going to be maintaining. If your father had it and gave it to the mother, that's also that the child is going to be born with that stuff. So let's try to break this down a little bit, right? So it's helpful in healing blood-related cancers, right? So yes, it is well, it's not a cancer, it's more of a disease, right? So while leukemia is considered a cancer, HIV and AIDS is actually considered a disease. There are people who are born with it, not just fooling around and getting it from other people. It means that you also are sleeping with maybe somebody who has died. But I will not get into that right now, because the fact is we need to think positive. So positively, I know people are born with these types of diseases. However, we need to make sure that these types of diseases get treated, and the bloodstone might be able to help with that if you can't get any medication. However long you want to last, that's up to you. Description is the rhodonite is keywords: love, compassion, calmness, self-confidence, forgiveness, peace, faith, relationships, cooperation, and stress relief. So again, we're talking about how these types of stones are to relieve stress. We're relieving the ability to maintain negative thoughts processes, right? We're relieving the idea that something bad is clogging us up, making sure that we do not move forward, we do not grow. We need to relieve that. So this is the one other way that you could probably do that with. So this Kitty likes, I guess Kitty likes the moonstone. So rhodonite is a stone of compassion, also referred to as the stone of love. It is an emotional balancer and also nurtures love. Therefore, it dispels emotional wounds and scars from the past. It clears, stimulates, and achieves the heart, and activates the heart. Rhodonite heals emotional shock and panic. So if you have PSD from a traumatic experience, right, then this stone might be able to help. Since this is February, right? February is the month of love. It is also Black History Month, right? So we need to be able to give love to those who we have lost, right? So we have emotional wounds, we have scars from those types of interactions, right? So we need to help dispel it. Rhodonite heals emotional shock and panic. It grounds energy, balances yin and yang, also aids in achieving your highest potential. Additionally, it builds confidence and alleviates confusion. So again, we're trying to alleviate the idea of you not knowing what you're doing or being in control of yourself, right? So if you're using that as an excuse, this stone will not help you. Now, if you are a true victim of shock and panic or emotional shock and panic, this will help you, right? It balances your highest achievement potential. So just give that in mind. So if you're always walking around confused, that means either you're getting information that is wrong from a source that is wrong, or it's just the fact that you might have done something to your body previous that is now coming into fruition because you've done it a long time ago, and now your body's just breaking down, right? So rhodonite assists in cases of emotional self-destruction, such well as codependency and abuse. So again, I'm talking about that. So while they say that you have drug abuse or alcohol abuse, it's not technically true, because you go out and you go and purchase these things rather than if you go out and you seek love in an abusive relationship. That's different. that I can consider abuse, because you're going to be manipulated, you're going to be warped and have your mind change, physically altering your being because you believe that this person is correct. Not only that, you fear that if they are not correct, they're going to come after you. Well, if you're having alcoholism and drug abuse, right, that is not an actual abuse, because you're going out and you're seeking it to maintain your addiction, right? So I do not consider that abuse. It encourages unselfish self-love and forgiveness. Assists with remaining calm in dangerous and upsetting situations. Okay, so self-love and forgiveness is great, because the fact is that if you're harboring something from the past and you don't want to sprout your emotions, stuff like that, you are going to come up to this stone and you're going to say to it, I forgive myself, right? I am giving myself self-love because it's an unselfish act, right? Now, dangerous and upsetting situations is very hard to do. If there's a fire, you're going to panic, right? If the elevator breaks down and you're stuck within the elevator, yeah, you're going to freak out. Those are little instances of a dangerous situations. Now, if you're having a mob where you're going to get crushed or something, then that is a dangerous and upsetting situation. Like the January 6th riots was very dangerous, right? We're still getting comeuppance for that, because the fact is we had a leader that decided to say, oh, this is a good idea, right? Let's throw everybody under the bus. While also doing that, let's harm people, right? Rhodonite soothes the nervous system and also calms the thyroid, pituitary gland, and body reflexes. It reveals insect bites. It's an excellent wound healer and helps reduce scarring, right? It aids bone growth as well as healing organs. Rhodonite stimulates fertility. It also treats autoimmune diseases, emphysema, and stomach ulcers. So again, we're trying to do herbal healing, right? So a witch doctor or a midwife or something like that, right? Where you're trying to heal wounds from, like, maybe if you had a child, right, and you have stretch marks or something, you can have this heal yourself. So if you're also healing autoimmune diseases, there's so many autoimmune diseases that there's not going to be able to fit a long list of that, right? So we're just wanting to strengthen our hearts and support our bodies as much as possible. Let's do one more. Okay, one more. We're gonna do here we go. Hematite, I believe it is. Hematite is a keyword. It's grounding, balance, consideration, focus, willpower, reliability, courage, confidence, optimism, stability, and protection. This stone is slightly different because it has not have fertility in it, right? But it also is the same where you want your blood to be circulating. You're trying to restore yourself, right? So again, it's about grounds and protection. It strengthens your connection to the earth, helping you feel safe and secure. Mother Earth is your friend if you allow her to be, right? It helps to provide you with courage, strength, endurance, and volatility, known as the stone of the mind, which is different than stone of love or a stone of purity, right? Or the heart stone. Hematite stimulates concentration and focus, also enhancing memory and original thought. So again, but that's like a redundant sentence because reducing memory is an original thought. So Hemulite stabilizes your uh, moderations to providing equilibrium between your ethereal nervous system and your physical nervous system. It also equalizes your energy and emotions to maintain a balance between your body, mind, and spirit. Right? So you're doing your soul, right? So you have your chakra, your chi, your mind is your third eye, and your spirit, which is emotional and physical, right? Therefore, it dissolves negativity and also prevents you from absorbing negativity from others. Hemulite is strong, it boosts self-esteem and survivability, as well as enhancing willpower and reliability, and impacts confidence. So if you're lacking confidence, this will be the stone for you. If you're lacking the willpower to be relatable, this is also your stone. However, it helps overcome compulsivenesses and addictions. It also treats overeating, smoking, and other types of overindulgences. But then you yourself have to also figure out what is an indulgence, and what is your way of stopping yourself as well as the stone, right? So if you already have the problem of being stressed and so you eat and you're never full because you keep eating, that's a whole different story, right? Smoking, right? Yes, we should stop smoking, but then again, it's kind of hard when you have we don't have commercials like that how they used to in the 50s and 60s, where they think that the doctors say that smoking was actually healthy for you, which is very like ass backward. But 'tis America, and we learned somewhat from it, although we know that there are some certain people that actually do smoke, right? So we're trying to make sure that we do not do that. So we're gonna kind of wind down from all that information, and just today is just going to reiterate that just take care of your own body, your mind, your blood, your system, your nervous system, right? Is your nervous system comes from your mind thinking, and your mind thinking is your thought, original thought, right? So all these stones that I've talked about will emulate because they're supposed to help you with one thing or the other, right? So you have to figure out exactly what is your best way of dealing with yourself, right? So if you are always confused, if you have a disease, right, that you're trying to make yourself feel better, these stones might come with the peace of mind. Why? Because the fact is, nobody likes to be sick, right? It gives you stress, it gives you anxiety, it also could kill you in certain instances. If you don't understand what it is, okay, fine, go to somebody that you trust that can help you look for it, right? Look for an actual person, not just a doctor, because yes, while doctors are medically trained for 8 years, then they do the internship, then they do the practice and stuff like that, right? They're not gonna know everything. They're not gonna know all the diseases out there. They're going to know a lot. But then everything changes, right? So when you fully take a look at something, you're gonna have to figure out, okay, so yeah, they could be using a medical book from a year or two ago, right? So we're just coming back into the bird flu. So how are we going to formulate that? We need doctors, we need nurses, but we also need these types of stones as well to figure, okay, so I'm dispelling negativity. I'm also dispelling selflessness, right? Because I'm a selfless person. So just try to figure out what's your best sort of attribute that you want to sort of utilize, right? Because we're not victims here. We have the ability to help ourselves. Unless you're dying on a deathbed, I think you can get a pass at that. With that being said, though, you also have to realize too that not everyone's going to actually believe what you say. So you're going to have to figure out, okay, how am I going to prove that this works, right? So that is a conscious decision, right? That is a thought provoking decision, right? So the more we read about these, we're going to probably come into the same terms over and over again, because this idea of thinking things through, making sure that our other people are not always going to just be affected by you and yourself, right? So be selfless, be kind to those around you. Make sure that you're not doing anything stupid so that you're not going to get questioned. And then when you get questioned, then you feel like you're being attacked, right? So I look forward to hearing from you guys soon. Like, subscribe, comment down below for your opinions. We need to get that silver play button, so help me out here, guys. So take care for Tuesday. We have hump day tomorrow. It's also Wednesday, where we're going to go and do the Wednesday stones. So detox, have fun with your detoxation. Write which method works best for you, and maybe we can incorporate it into the next video. Okay, I shall see you guys later. Bye.